Hello and a warm welcome to you all dear viewers of Source Media Television channel broadcast live in Cairo. I'm Benjamin Mayer Marcour and it's 5 minutes past 6 Middle East Main Time, and today a great honor. I will be very excited, of course, for all the followers who join us tonight in this special edition. So at that point we will be going, our central conversation tonight is South Sudanese Students Association in Cairo University. And that is, of course, what is that body about that we talk about South Sudanese having an association in all universities. Indeed, this has come to the point, the season of administrative transition. At that point, we'll bring you the full coverage of what is happening in this largest national university, Cairo University. Stay tuned as we bring you the full interview of this with the man that is with me tonight here in the studio. Of course, to take you directly to the principal, the position which is highly demanded by the man here with me in the studio tonight seems to be the Secretary General. Who is that person who's so competent to compete in Secretary General? Just join me as I read out the curricular ability of the man, and the name is Jago Daniel Otong Awijak. Date of birth 30 November 1997, and the place of birth Malakal in Afan region. Nationality South Sudanese, marital status single, occupation student, educational background, the Good Jaffet Primary School in 2002 to 2006, Bender Boys Primary School 2005 to 2007, and Sudan Interior Primary School 2005 to 2009. San Lawanga Primary School 2010 to 2013, and San Kamboni Secondary School Juba 2014. Also Kamboni College Khartoum 2015 to 16, Joshua Okachi Secondary School 2000 and 2017. And currently student in Cairo University Faculty of Science, Department of Geology and Mining, class of 2018 till to the present moment. And the work experience. One, the former Deputy Secretary of Information of Pachoda Student Association in Egyptian universities and high institutes. The former member of Faculty of Science, Foreign Students Festival Committee 2019. And the former volunteer at World Youth Forum, Egypt and Middle East, Office 2020. And also a member of Initiative for African Simulation Modern Union 2020, and the coordinator of External Affairs of Youth Forum for Free Dialogue 2021. Observer in Biamlum Student Association in High Electoral Committee of 2020. An observer, of course, as well in Ring Student Association High Electoral Committee 2020 as well. The qualifications and experience. Certificate in Leadership, Skills and Management. Attended workshop in Diplomatic Relationship and awarded a certificate in Diplomatic Relationship by African Society Organization in Egypt. And also a student attended the course of teaching skill from Community of St. Andrew Organization here in Cairo. Also, he has diploma in geoscience, which is drilling overview. The course in human resource development, and also has the course in computer science and computer skill. That is the man, of course, who seems to be aspiring for the position, and of course aspiring to have the administrative and documentation of student affairs in Cairo University, which seems to be just coming up soon after a couple of days later. This is the point. At that point, and I'm honored to welcome the man who is, of course, seeking for Secretary General in Cairo University. Welcome to Source Media, Comrade Jago. So people are curious outside, who is this man? So can you tell us more about yourself and what are you seeking for?
Thank you, Stars journalist Benjamin Mayor. Thank you, administrations of South Sudan Media House. Thank you, the viewers of South Sudan Media. Before I could start, I would like to congratulate my fellow students or colleagues at Cairo University for the long journey that they have struggled. Wish them all the best in this year. I'm by name Jago Daniel Otong Awijak. I am a student at Cairo University Faculty of Science, Department of Geology and Mining. I am contesting for South Sudan Student Association at Cairo University for the position of Secretary General under the themes for promoting cooperation and transparency among the students. Thank you.
Great. It sounds good. Aspiring for Secretary General. So also tell us, are you unopposed in the position or you have an opponent?
Well, in election, it is a nature that you may have opponent or you may be unopposed alone. But frankly, to be honest with you, I have opponents, and this is the spirit of competition and struggle in the student journey leadership. I have my opponent, and I will be very glad to contest the election with him. It is only the student choice who will vote for the positive and strong manifesto based on the two candidates for Secretary General. Thank you.
Right. Cairo University seems to be just having southern of South Sudanese students, of course, from various faculties, and they seem to have this association existing for years. Now, the incumbent president seems to have run an association for 2 years' time, but all the students are complaining about the function of this organization, and they say nothing, they don't have hope about the body in the association. Why do you feel to come and change? What transformation will you bring?
First of all, as I'm candidate for Secretary General, before I could contest for SG, I have passed through different levels. I have made consultation with the previous Secretary General of the Association, and I also have a consultation with the former chairman of the association after the case study of the problem that affects students at the grassroots and at the level of the university and the life of the students in Egypt. I have declared my candidacy for Secretary General of Cairo University has a hard will and purpose only for the service of South Sudanese students at Cairo University.
Well, sir, in that from the beginning, it seems you have the central message that you have documented, and that is what forces you to contest for the position. So the students are facing immense challenges in all capacities. So what is the real challenge do you personally identify to be the one facing students in Cairo?
Actually, there is a lot of factors that are facing students, and there are many challenges that are facing students. But as a candidate, I have put some major factors that we can help or can address or we can solve throughout the duration if we won the election. One of the problem was the issue of school fees, and you know, some of South Sudanese students, they come here on private and others on scholarship. As the function of the association, it is the right of the student to be helped despite or regardless of his nationality, regardless of his affiliation. We as the administration of the association, we are abided and guided by the manifesto and constitution of the association that we abided to deliver the service to the student of Cairo University. As we know, our students are suffering a lot throughout the academic years. We have a lot of factors that we are facing, Ustaz Benjamin, more especially the issues of regarding the school fees, and the issues also regarding the living standard of the student.
What will you do about the tuition fees of the university? It seems to be administrative concern, and it's beyond your administration. How do you solve the issue of tuition fees to all the students in the university?
In fact, in first place, as you have said it, it is an administrative issue, but also we in Cairo Association, it is also our will and right to address this problem also as the leaders of the student. If we don't address it, no one tomorrow will address this problem. Embassy is the right wing to address the problem of the student here in Egypt because they are our highest here. We reflect them and they reflect us. Also the problem of the university, also administration, it is also one of the factors that we can write some documentation or letters to them so that there could be facilitation in issues regarding their school fees. Also we have our elders at the grassroots, which is South Sudan, or our leaders in South Sudan, we can also write some letters back to South Sudan, and we should talk to them that the living of a student here it is not easy, and it is our role as a leaders of our association and embassy and the university and the people of South Sudan to support the financial situation of the student of South Sudan. And this will not come unless it will come in to leadership and will be having powers and authorities to address the organization that are responsible for the case that you have raised. Thank you.
All right, so let's come and talk about your manifesto, something you wrote, and you say building student capacities in leadership development or leadership perspective. So is that the major concern that you are contesting to develop students' leadership? And of course, which way are you going to just educate the students to have leadership skill?
First of all, regarding my manifesto, as I have told you before, that I have met an interview with the former chairman and the former SG of the association, and they have told me a lot of the problem that the students are suffering, and they have told me the reason why they fail to address this problem, and they have shown me also the ways how to implement them. So to be honest with you, my manifesto, it has some cornerstone. It has a vision, it has a message, it has a principle, and it has a sectors, because these sectors, it reflect the whole manifestos, and where later on we'll come and work throughout it. In my vision, I have said that there is a need to develop the capacity of the student, because we believe that our lives or our future, it does not depend only on academic sector, but also there is a need to have a diversity in knowledge. We need our students to have a consciousness in their society. We need our students to be one of the future leaders.
Rumorsly, according to an eye on the ground, and we heard students complaining tremendously about the disintegration of students based on political sectors. So what is your take about this? Is Cairo University politically divided, or how would you explain this?
Actually, in any organization, there must be some negative factors, or in any community, there must be a problem that students are facing. To be honest with you and frank with you, I didn't heard about any political organization taking place within the association or within the university, because let's go back to the rule of establishing the association here. It defined that the association is socially and sport and cultural association. It has nothing to do with politics. If there is political organization within the association, it is out of the constitution and it is out of the agenda of establishment of the association. And as we, the association, if we come, we abided to remove these factors that we have mentioned before, if it is. But I'm very sure that it is out of the duties of the association. And it is our role as a student of Cairo University Association to keep the image of the university and to maintain the principle of the establishment of the association.
Right. As well, in the manifesto, you mentioned about the mental depression, which seems to be increasingly uncontrollable. So most of the students in particular, this year, we got a number of losses, and of course the association seems not to be standing in solidarity with them, especially rendering financial support, as we know, and just eventually in the end, you can get the person who just losing the life. So when you come, what are you going to do about this in your capacity as Secretary General?
I would like first to pay tribute and heartily feel to our students who lost their life. May their soul rest in peace. The case of the depression, it is now increasing within our student community, and it is one of the challenges that are threatening the life of a student. Me as the Secretary General, if I come, there is a need to have a training or making counseling to our students at the grassroots or within the hostel or outside the hostel for them to attend the seminars, and we should bring the social expert so that he can make counseling to our students, so that the student will be aware what are the factors, the problems that lead to the depression. Also, we can provide a treatment to the student through addressing the university so that they can provide a treatment to our student. Here we have university hospital. We can address the embassy and the university so that they can provide a treatment for our students so that we can avoid the cases of depression to our students.
What do you think about what is the cause of that eminent mental depression to the students? So what do you just find out about this?
Actually, the life of Cairo is so hard. We, especially the South Sudanese, and this case is related to the stress, because if you see the economic situation of South Sudan is not helping us. We here in Egypt as the student, we are depending on our own life. We are the ones struggling alone. Some of the students, they don't get money back from South Sudan. So it is here for you to continue with your education without support back from South Sudan. So this case it may lead to the stress, and also there are some faculties here which some students they don't like. So when he come from South Sudan, for example, we have some of the colleagues, when they come here, they say that they want medicine, at the end they didn't find medicine.
Great. Comrade Jago, also so many students, especially the new admitted students, are extremely complaining about the support, because once they come to the country, they don't know anybody, and they complain that the association that seems to be working in favor of students doesn't show up in facilitating the processes. So it seems to be witnessed over the past few years in all the administrations. Now, as you may come as a Secretary General, of course, what are you going to do in that context? And because we do have a student annually coming, and association doesn't stand with them.
In my manifesto, if you go back to administrative sector or axis, there is a point that I noticed there is a need for the resumption of the National Student Union of South Sudan here in Egypt. if we resume the activities of the association, it can be easier to facilitate the activities of the student here, because we alone at Cairo University Association, it will be very difficult for us to solve the common problem or the common interest of the student, because this problem are the major problem that the students are facing here, and has the administration alone of the Cairo University Association will not be able to help. So there is a need for the resumption of the General Student Union, so that we can talk to the university and the people of the grassroots, and they can help the living of the student here, because through union we can be able to reach to the many things.
Just let me cut you short. So you're talking about the union and seems to be subjecting your administration to different body. So why is that? And it seems to be you are an independent body, and of course you can do things according to your own will. So why are you pushing it to the union? Of course, and what happened to the union of South Sudan in Cairo, in Egypt?
As a student of Cairo University, I was a regular student and I was out of the leadership. And when I came here in Egypt, I find that the activities of the union were not there. And I tried to find out why the union is not there. And I failed to find out why the union is not there. But hopefully, if I come as Secretary General, I will make the initiative with collaboration with the other association, so that we can launch the committee or establish or form the committee to resume the activities of the association or the activities of the union, because the union will help us to solve many problems that we are not able to solve with us as the administration of the Cairo University Association.
Well, sorry about the union, just in actual sense, and the way we do hear it from the students, they say all this university-based associations that go against the union, and of course it seems to be the suppressing element to your administration. So they say you are the one preventing the union to exist, because it violates, because it's going to dominate your powers. So later people are very skeptical about the possibility of raising the union once again, because it seems to dominate, to suppress your obligation. So what do you say about this point?
You can repeat your question, because there is a point I want to understand.
All right, sorry. The students outside, what they said, they complained about all these various associations operating in all universities that are against the existence of the union, because you complained of having the union. It seems to be superior than your administration, and it suppresses your obligation not to operate and not to be recognized, especially in the high table like the embassy and South Sudan in general. So they say you are the root cause of the union not to operate. Will you accept the accountability?
First of all, let me correct some point. First, I want to denounce that allegation that it is the head of the association that are deteriorating the union. It is wrong. I myself, as candidate for Secretary General, I denounce it is not true, because this union, it was established on the principle of helping the students. So how come the head of the association want to destroy it? So these allegations are not true, and indeed we are working now very hard, and I personally am working on it for the resumption of for the activities of the union. Also writing some letters to embassy that were to allow the union to resume its activities, because most of the problem it depends on the union. So I would like to denounce this allegation that it is the head of the association that are destroying the union.
Well, sir, in the second point, of course, as we know, all the colleges are not operating in similar capacity. Some of the colleges are charging the students highly, and this seems to be just getting out of hand to that person in his capacity or her capacity. Like if we go to Cairo University, we have Faculty of Commerce in English section. It's very expensive, and many students, of course, didn't make it possible to pay all the fees. And the association has no voice to present this to the university administration, and meanwhile also they don't present it to the administration of the embassy while you are presenting students. Or do you think this one is not your concern as well?
Well, it is also one of the major concerns of the association. In my manifesto, if you look, I have wrote there that there is a need to have a national student convention. The objective of this convention is to address the problem that the students are facing, more especially the cases of school fees, the cases of the living of the student, the cases for the treatment of the student. So I read this initiative of this convention. First, we have some letters that can be sent back to South Sudan, to Minister of Higher Education, and also here to Egyptian Minister of Higher Education, copy to Egyptian Minister of Higher Education, and copy to our embassy, and copy also to students. They could attend this student convention, and the objective of it is just to address the problem that the students are facing. For you, more especially you, Benjamin, if you have problem in your faculty, you will stand up in convention and you will tell A, B, C, and this about the problem that we are facing in the faculty. Then at the end, we will take it as the resolution and the recommendation of the convention. And then also, the cases of the living of the school fees, at the end of the convention, through signing the protocol, we may say that if there is a student who have impossibilities of paying the school fees, he or she can be allowed to sit for examination, or he or she can be allowed to see his result, or he or she can be allowed to stay in a hostel without any charges on him.
Okay, now are you staying in the hostel or outside?
I'm currently staying in hostel.
All right, so tell us briefly about the immense challenges that you are facing in the hostel there.
Since I joined the hostel in 2018, I have experienced a lot of the challenges that the students are facing. More especially, there is no good living of the student. We go back to the small facilitation, like the cases of water, and also the building that the students are living now. It is not a good building. There is a need to make innovation for the student, and also the students are complaining of lack of good relationship with the administration, and also it's one of the problems that the students are facing inside, more especially South Sudanese. And also there's a problem of living also. Some students are divided according to the standard of the academic. Some students, if they fail subject, they are accommodated with the amount of the money, and those who fail the subject.
All right, are you going to address that point? If you fail just a subject or you repeat the class in that academic year, so and there is the fine, of course, administrative fine from the hostel. If you fail the subject, you will be charged of paying extra amount like 500, and if you repeat the class, then monthly you'll be paying 800. Well, what are you going to do about this in the administration now?
Actually, to put it clear on the table, there is no base for administration to put differences in money for the student living in the hostel, because we all know in any field of education there is success and there is a failure. So these are the principles of the academic of the student.
Sorry. All right. As we have gone over time, many thanks to you very much indeed, Comrade Jago, and we wish you success in your new administration, possibly if you are going to win.
Thank you.
And of course, this is the man who is responsible for the documentation of the student affairs in the Association of Cairo University, Comrade Jago Daniel. Of course, many thanks to you very much indeed for being with us here in the studio of South Sudan Media. Stay tuned as as we explore all the exciting events of the students covering the immense student challenges and indeed the curricular activities, sport activities in all universities, bringing you live here in our channel. I'm Benjamin Mayor Marcour, and many thanks. Stay tuned, and this is South Sudan Media.